Hello everybody, welcome back. And if you're new, my name is Chris. Thank you to everybody who clicked on that thumbnail to see tonight's video, which is my favorite cold weather vanillas, or my favorite cold weather vanillas that would fit on the mantle behind me. I had a whole basket full, but only 16 would fit. 16 fragrances is a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump right in. But before I do that, I would love for you to stop and let me know in the comments below what your favorite cold weather vanillas are. And since I have a lot of ground to cover, I'm gonna jump right in. The first one is an oldie but a goodie, and even though I don't wear it very much, it's still a great option for those who do not like a really overly sweet vanilla, and this is the one and only Dior Addict. Yeah, I don't wear this very much anymore because this fragrance wears you as opposed to the other way around, but every once in a blue moon, when I feel like wearing a real powerhouse fragrance, I will reach for this. This is a, this is a strong white floral vanilla with some spicy green notes and a little bit of sandalwood to smooth out the rough edges. But this is for somebody who wants to be seen and smelled and make a lasting impression, worn by confident people. Since I have so much ground to cover, I'm really going to speed through these unless it's something that I haven't really talked about at all. The first one is another classic from Guerlain. It is a fragrance with it is a vanilla with a heavy green note. And green notes don't always work for me, but when I smelled it the first time, I knew a bottle was in my future, and it is the famous Angelique Noir in the beautiful old bottles with the gold seam on the side. I think everybody knows that this has vanilla and that beautiful Angelica note. Angelica is part of the celery family, so it smells similar, but just a little bit sweeter. It has more peppery nuances and a little bit muskier. This one also has some florals in it. I believe it's jasmine, but to me, it's not overly floral, and it dries down beautiful and powdery and has a really good lasting power on me. So another one that I love to wear in the cold because this one is just a little too strong and a little bit too green and floral for the hotter weather. Next one up is a fragrance I only wear in the cold weather. I only wear this when it is freezing cold and I am feeling adventurous. This is the smokiest vanilla I own, and it is the beautiful Lune Feline. I never get tired of shaking the bottle and seeing those beautiful gold little flakes float around. Yeah, this one is super smoky, super resinous and spicy vanilla. When I first smelled it, it was almost too smoky. It goes right up to the edge of being too smoky, but it doesn't quite get to the point where it's intolerable for me. And I think that's why I only like to wear it in the cold. This is very woody and resinous in the dry down, and on me, it's a powerhouse. It lasts pretty much all day. A great unisex or gender neutral fragrance that I love to wear in the winter only. I would never dare to wear this in the warm weather. It would probably choke you out. Next up is a fragrance I wear when it's snowing. There is something about this that screams super cold, freezing cold, and snowy. And I had this in my winter favorites from last year, and it is by V Canto, and it is called Mirabile. In this real pretty velvety bottle. I think the note that comes off when you first spray it is kind of earthy, herbally, and has a wintergreen or mentholy note that I get when I first spray it, which I think is probably or could be a deal breaker for other people. But for me, it just seems like it screams snow and cold weather. This is a malty vanilla. I do think this has malt in it. This is a little bit boozy. It's a little bit resinous. It's milky. And I think it has a rum note in it. But as it dries down, it's super unique. And for that reason, I think it's a really good cold weather vanilla. I can get longevity. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've worn this, but I want to say at least 4 to 6 hours for this one. So definitely a very unique cold weather vanilla. The next vanilla is not only a beautiful winter vanilla, but it is a vanilla I would wear year round. It's definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite vanilla, and it's one of my very favorite fragrances in my wardrobe. I think it's pretty close to a masterpiece, if not a masterpiece. It is stunning, it is gorgeous, and it is one I've talked about many, many times, which actually made my 10 niche for life, EBK Ruby in Vanilla Intense. I can describe how this smells, but I will never do it justice. It's just such a smooth, beautiful, opulent, velvety vanilla fragrance. It has a little bit of mandarin in it, but it's not citrusy. It has velvety notes. There are different types of wood. There's a little bit almond and patchouli and I think some ambergris, but oh my gosh, this is absolutely stunning. And I have discovered since doing the discovery set that many of their fragrances are just top notch. And this is definitely a vanilla I will be wearing a ton in the next several months. The next one up is kind of like Lune Feli's tamed younger sister, or a watered down version of Lune Feline. And if you don't like Lune Feline, you think it's a little bit too strong, a little bit too smoky, this is a great option. It is Maison Margiela by the Fireplace. I love these little travel sprays, especially when you have a larger collection. These are nice to have in your wardrobe. This to me is like a tamed or watered down or more demure take on Lune Feline. It's a spicy, woody, nutty vanilla. There is a little kick from some pepper at the beginning. There's cloves, there's palo santo wood and juniper, and then the chestnuts, the vanilla, and the Peru balsam come in at the end and give you this kind of toasted marshmallows or marshmallows roasting on an open fire kind of a thing going on. I love this, and it's one of my favorite vanillas to wear when it's cold. Next one up is relatively new in my collection. I think I got this in September. This was in my September pickups and passes, and this is by Franck Bocklet, and this is called Vanille. I really like this fragrance. This kind of reminds me a little bit or a lot of Xerjoff's Lyra. This is very similar to that. It is a citrusy vanilla with, to me, caramel, burnt sugar, something going on. There's lime, grapefruit, ginger, and cardamom in the beginning, and then as that fades, you get this really pretty vanilla that comes out, and a note that to me smells like burnt sugar, but I think it's technically listed as caramel. It's beautiful. It's not the powerhouse that Lyra was on me, and it's just a little bit fresher and a little bit more citrusy, but beautiful nonetheless, and a very inexpensive fragrance. I think I paid $100 for this, and this is a really big 3.4 ounce bottle. So another fragrance I'm going to be rocking in these cold months. Next one up is definitely one of my very favorite vanillas. It's a vanilla that I would probably wear in the spring, fall, and winter. It's not overly heavy, but it's definitely beautiful, and it is Kayali Vanilla 28. I think many people, or most people, have heard of this. This is a gorgeous brown sugar vanilla with a little booziness to it. It has some subtle white florals on the top. Then you've got brown sugar and tonka and amber. It is amazing alone or as a layering fragrance, and this lasts at least 4 to 6 hours on me. I have no issues with longevity. This one is going to be in my collection for a long time. It is stunning, and it lasts even longer if you layer this with something. So beautiful Kayali Vanilla 28. Next one up, I have spoken about several times in the past. I absolutely love it. I have made no secret to that, and it is Divine Vanille by Essential Parfums. Let's see if I can get that. This vanilla is not an overly sweet vanilla, and it has a lot of character. a little bit of spices. There's clove and cinnamon. It's definitely a little boozy. There is a touch of incense in here, and it has that ambery, sweet tobacco vibe going on that I absolutely love it. This lasts at least a half a day on me, and a niche fragrance that you can get for a really, really good price. I think this was $75 for this big 3.4 ounce bottle. So the beautiful Divine Vanille. Next one up gets a lot of love here on YouTube, but is a fragrance that I wear a lot in the cold weather. This one's very popular. When I wear this, I get a lot of comments and compliments about how great I smell, even from people who don't care for vanillic fragrances. It is Intense Cafe by Mantle. I think everybody knows that this is a sweet vanillic rose with a smidgen of woodiness. I think it's oud and just a skosh of coffee in the notes. I don't get a ton of coffee. What I get is a really sweet vanillic jammy rose that just is a powerhouse. 3 to 4 sprays on me, and I'm getting this lasting through the day, 8 to 10 hours at minimum. And it does work perfectly in the cold, but one of the few ones in this list that works well year-round as well. So Intense Cafe. Next one up is a new fragrance for me. I think I've only had it for a couple weeks and was in my October pickups. It is by Christian Dior, and it is the new Vanilla Diorama. I think my lights are too bright to see that, but yeah, I've only worn this a couple times and I am enjoying it, but it was a little different than what I thought it would smell like, and this was a blind buy, and that's why I bought the little bottle. But this is based on a dessert that I think was created specifically for Christian Dior that has vanilla, it has bitter orange, it has a little bit of chocolate in it. I smell everything in there, but I also smell something that gives it a perfumey quality. Maybe it's amber, maybe there's some florals in here. I'm still kind of getting to know it, but it is a gourmand that smells perfumey. That's the only way I know how to describe it, but so it still maintains that fragrance aspect while still being a gourmand. And the orange comes out more in the beginning for me, but the vanilla is in the dry down, and it's very pretty. I think it's pretty and fairly universally appealing. And I don't know about longevity. Like I said, I've only worn it a couple times, and I think I got roughly 4 hours from this. So looking forward to wearing it more this winter for sure. So I'm making good progress. I think I have 5 more to go. The next one I put away for the warmer weather. I cannot wear this in the warm weather. This is a cold weather fragrance for sure. It is a total powerhouse, and it is one of the few vanillic florals that I own, but I absolutely love it, and it is 100 Silent Ways by Nishane. This is absolutely gorgeous. This has I think the typical, triumvirate of white flowers, probably jasmine, gardenia, and tuberose. It has a little bit of peach to give it just a touch of fruitiness and probably a little bit of sweetness. It has sandalwood, I think, that kind of smooths it out. It's definitely sweet and creamy. This is a complete and total powerhouse. 3 sprays, it will last me all day. And this is a compliment getter, but it's very sweet. If you are into your white florals and you don't like sweet fragrances, test this one first. But I love it, and I can't wait to wear it more as the weather gets colder. Next one up is a dark, strongly resinous vanilla with spices, smoke, and leather. And it is a really wonderful unisex or shared fragrance, and it is by Guerlain, and this is Louis. Not a whole lot of people talk about this, but I think it's really a great fragrance as long as you like spices, because this has a lot of clove in it. It's very strong in the clove. The leather isn't too overpowering, and I don't like a super strong leather, like punch you in the face leather. So the leather is present, but it's in the background. This one, I will say, starts out really strong, but it gets quiet fairly rapidly, and the longevity is not great. For me, I get 2 hours, around 2 hours, 4 hours at the max, but a fragrance that every once in a while I really do like to pull for it when I'm in the mood for a spicy dark vanilla, especially one that has a strong, a heavy note of cloves. Next one up is a vanilla that I only wear in the cold, even though I'm sure lots of people wear this in the warmer months. I just don't, because it's very strong and it pulls very sweet on me. And it is by Maison Francis Courtisan, and this is Gentle Fluidity Gold. Beautiful fragrance that smells a lot like Intense Cafe to me. It smells similar to Intense Cafe. It is a sweet ambery vanilla with a little musk. It's very powdery in the dry down. It's not as strong. It's not the powerhouse that Intense Cafe is, but very similar nonetheless, even though there are subtle, noticeable differences. This is very light and velvety, and there's something that is just very comforting to me with this fragrance. And a vanilla I love to wear when I'm wearing a big, chunky, fluffy sweater. So that is the beautiful Gentle Fluidity Gold. Second to last is Lord of Misrule by Lush. I love me some Lush. I love going to the Lush store. And when I go to my Lush stores, I never leave without a giant bag of goodies, especially. I think I have every product that you can get made by Lush. This is a kind of a hippie, black pepper, earthy patchouli, vanilla with a little bit of incense. This is definitely for, this is vanilla for patchouli lovers. If you do not like patchouli, good chance you will not like this, but I absolutely love it, and I'm a huge patchouli fan. This is very cozy. Starts off peppery with a lot of patchouli. The vanilla comes out towards the end, but you can still smell the patchouli. Very cozy, and it lasts me at least 4 hours. I absolutely love this. And the last one is a powerhouse. I thought I would wear this more in the warmer months, but it turns out I just never did because it's too strong. I just prefer this in the wintertime. And it is another one by Nishane, and this is Nishane Ani. And this one is a beautiful upscale vanilla. It's bright, it's zingy, it's spicy. There is pink pepper, bergamot, and ginger in here to give it that zinginess, the zestiness, the brightness. Even though it has these other players, it is through and through a very strong, sweet, light, and creamy, beautifully blended vanilla. This is another one that's powerhouse. 3 sprays will get you all day. Yes, I love it, and I really, really enjoy wearing this in the cold weather. So that was 16 vanillas I really enjoy wearing in the cold weather. Again, not an exhaustive list. I will have my other vanillas that didn't quite make the list because they didn't fit on my mantle. Those will be in other videos in the future. So thank you again for sticking around. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.